Hi, I am making this video to show you how to install WordPress 3.0 for Joomla into your Joomla site. So right here I have just a Joomla site set up, fresh install, and as you can see this Joomla site is installed inside a directory from the root of my domain. So my domain is joompressblog.com and it's installed in the directory WP3D. I'm just pointing that out because I have to do an extra step because of that when I enable the multi-site functionality of WordPress 3.0. But just keep that in the back of your head for now. Now, I will be providing you with 3 different packages that you'll have to install. 2 of them will be plugins, Joomla plugins, and the other one will be the Joomla component, so WordPress 3.0. So I'm going to go ahead and install these. First, I'm going to install both of my plugins. So I have a authentication plugin and I have a user plugin as well. Now, I am going to be uploading this WordPress 3.0 package through this uploader, but the package is about 3.6 megabytes in size, and most servers have a 2 meg limit of files that you can upload no matter what. So you may have to do an install directory, which you'll have to unzip the zip file on your computer, upload the whole folder through FTP to this path, this folder right here, and then you'll just have to give it the path to the new folder that you just uploaded. Then you click install and it installs it. So now it's installed. First thing I do, actually before I even do that, I have to go in here and enable my plugins. So I'm going to be enabling my authentication plugin and my user plugin that I just installed. Alright, now that's done, I'm going to go to WordPress. And now WordPress is going to ask me to basically install. Instead of dumping all the database tables like we used to do before, now we're actually going through the WordPress installation procedure, even though it's not the full installation because we're still missing some fields that I removed here, but you still get the feel. So I'm going to type, I'm going to call this WordPress directory blog. There's my email, and there we go, install it. Success. Then I just go to login, and you'd be logging in with your Joomla username and password. And there you have it. There's WordPress 3.0 installed in your Joomla site. Now next thing that we'd want to do, because I can click on this and it's going to show me my blog on the front end, but I still need to create it a menu item. And this is for you guys that want to stay on just a single blog. If you don't want the single blog, then you can skip this step of creating the menu item as of right now. You'll still have to create it later. But say for now, I'm just going to create this menu item of type of course, WordPress. I'm just going to call it blog. And then once I go to the front end of my website, the blog is there, okay? So fairly simple. It looks like I still have SEF URLs turned on here, which I do. Okay. And there you have it. There's a few configuration options that we added to WordPress, and you can find them in general settings when you have the single blog. Otherwise you'll find them somewhere else, but they're all these settings right here. If you are using the 2010 theme, you have all these settings. To make WordPress fit your template, you want to edit the page, the content width of your Joomla template. So for example, this one is, and I'm going to open a new tab here, from basically from here to here, it's about 750 pixels. Okay, and you can see that, and that's why I have set up 750 pixels right here by default. But say you have a 2-column layout, sorry, a 3-column layout. So you have one column right here, you have your main content column, and then you have your third column right here. You'd want to essentially measure from, or the width between those 2 side columns, and then you just want to type it in here. And of course the width is in pixels. And here you can set to either display or hide the menu, the header image, so I can hide those, and then only the title will show. But it's just up to you, whatever you want to do, however you want to set it up. The rest of the settings is if you want to run Joomla content plugins on your WordPress post, use the sidebar in the main content area, which is this right here. At a later point, once we do the final release, we'll be releasing a module that you can put basically anywhere in a Joomla position, module position. But for right now, I want to show that there. And that brings me to enabling multi-site. Okay, so, but actually before I even go there, if you want to enable search engine friendly URLs, because search engine friendly URLs have to be enabled to use the multi-site, because WordPress only ships out the multi-site with SEF enabled. There's no other way. But if you want to enable SEF on just your single blog, well, first you have to set that up in Joomla. So you have to do, you essentially have to do 2 things, and that's if you want mod rewrite, which will remove that. And I'll show you. I'm just throwing a bunch of words out there. Mod rewrite essentially, as you can see right now, well, right there it does WP3 blog. But if I don't have mod rewrite, it'll do WP3 and it's redirecting. But you'll see it if you can go look at the bottom of my browser, bottom left, you'll see that there's index.php, and that's because I have mod rewrite turned off. If you turn it on, it'll remove that. But if you turn it on, you also need to, when you install Joomla, this file will come as a txt, and you'll just have to rename it through FTP to htaccess or .htaccess. And this is my FTP program, if you couldn't tell by now. Okay, so that's how you enable the SEF URLs. And of course you can customize your SEF URLs through the permalinks. And that's as simple as it gets. Everything else works in WordPress. The menus, the themes, you can go ahead and install themes, whichever theme you want from the WordPress directory. The only downside from it is that if you do install a theme, you won't see your Joomla template on the background. You will just see that theme. The reason because of that is if you have a theme on top of a theme, your HTML page is simply not going to validate to search engines, and they may or may not give you a lower ranking. So we said we're not going to show that Joomla theme. We're just going to show your WordPress theme. This 2010 theme is edited so that it does validate your Joomla page. So that's the only one that we can display inside the Joomla template. Okay, so now let's enable the multi-site functionality. you'll have to go down here and select yes to enable multi-site. WordPress will do a few things in the background and will end up redirecting you to this network page. Here you have to set what your directory will be for your WordPress sites. So for example, if you, and I give some examples here, so you can name it blog, blogs, content, community. For the sake of this example, I'm just going to name it blogs. So in the end, my URLs for my blogs will look something like, and I sort of have an example right here, joompressblog.com/WP3D/ and it's not going to be community, it's going to be blogs, and then / whatever the blog title or blog name is for that specific blog. So it could be Sally, Bob, whoever. Okay. So then I'll click move folder, and essentially right now WordPress is copying its whole WordPress directory from where it used to be over to this blogs directory in your Joomla file system. So to show you that, right now you don't see a blogs directory in here, but I'm going to refresh. Now you see a blogs directory in there. So now right there is where WordPress multi-site is at. And now you can see I'm at joompressblog.com/WP3D/blogs. And again, I log in with my Joomla credentials. And then it continues the installation process for this multi-site. It asks me what the title of my multi-sites will be, and my email, which is where all the emails will be going for any administration purposes. That sounds good to me. I'll click on install. And now you need to do 2 to 3 steps depending if you have that directory or not. In my case, I do have this directory, so I'm going to have to do the step 3. But if my Joomla site would have just been installed in the root of my domain, I would not have to do that step. Okay, so first things first is I have to open up my wp-config.php file inside this directory. So I open up my FTP and I am going to browse to, and normally you'll be at public _.html or here if you're on FTP. So then I just find blogs, and then I just find my wp-config.php file. I'm going to bring that over here just to show you. Okay, so then it says add the following above the line reading, that's all, stop editing. And here is that line, that's all, stop editing. So I copy all this content and I'll just paste it right here. And then it says on the same file, wp-config, search for this string and delete it. So I search for this string, which I already know is right here. I'll search for it anyways, and then I just delete that. I save that file, and step 1 is done. Then step 2 is add the following to your htaccess file in the same directory as above. So I open up my FTP again, and I am going to create a new file, .htaccess. I'm going to open up that file, and I'm going to copy all of these contents to this file. I save it and get out of there. And then last step is I have to set the live site variable on my configuration.php file to the root of my Joomla site, which is this. I actually just saw a bug. It shouldn't be showing wp-admin. It should just stop at blogs. Well, actually, it should just stop at wp3d. So I'm definitely going to have to fix that. Okay, so I open up my transmit again, and it tells me, now note that this directory is different than the two above. This is pointing to the root of my Joomla directory, not the WordPress directory. So I go back to Joomla and I open up my configuration.php file. And I add that path to this live site variable. You may already have the live site variable set, but it's not equal to what we need it to be. Okay, so then I just save that, and then once you have completed these steps, your network is enabled and configured, you will have to log in again. So I click on login, and again I log in with my Joomla credentials, and then multi-site is set up and it is complete. So really that concludes this tutorial. One last thing that I do want to point out is that the plugins, we have been talking about most of the plugins being able to work inside of this new version of WordPress for Joomla, just because of the way that we developed it. And you'll find that some plugins do work, some plugins may not work. Most of them will work, but there's just some things that we can't help depending on how the plugin was developed. But it is a good idea to test a few. If you have any questions, or even if the plugin is very simple and you test it out, let me know and I can see if I can do anything better to maybe get those plugins working automatically out of the box. Okay, so that concludes the tutorial. Hopefully you can get this all installed without any problems. Hopefully in the end I'll figure out a way to at least avoid some of these steps, but that's that for now, and enjoy.